Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Even Zero Chapter 11. When we last left off, Shiki and Sabir's fight continued for a few more pages until Shiki crushed Sabir with a Daimaki and a gravity ball. But Sabir's little bird companion set up Sabir's mech to grab Shiki and then self-destruct, but it was stopped by Pino's EMP. And then the gang kind of all took a breather for like a page or two from the whole fight with Sabir before getting chased by the police because Rebecca and Shiki have no past IDs, and Weisz is still a wanted criminal from his time with the Sabir clan. And so as they were trying to leave the planet, Noma, I think it's called, they were blocked by some force field, and then Weisz, who had been hiding out in their ship, walks in and is like, yeah, give me the ship and I can help you. And that's where we leave off. Before we begin, I just want to remind everyone I do have a straw poll going for my anime reviews for fall of 2018. There'll be a link to it in the description. If you could fill that out, that would be much appreciated. But yeah, with that all out of the way, let's get into Chapter 11, Machina Maker. Laser-focused story from the start. A new straight-to-the-point space fantasy. Punishing Sabir, taking his friend's hand. Now how will they escape? If your friends are sad, fight in order to stop those tears. That's the one fundamental principle in the universe. And we have a color page, which actually lets us see Pino's color palette for the first time. And is not quite what I expected. I thought her closest thing to hair she had would be a bit darker, but whatever. Professor. Shiki, Pino, Rebecca, and Happy all look at Weisz. Hand over this ship. If you do, I'll make it fly into space. And then we have a color cover with the whole gang, including the bunny maid from the bar. And is that... So it has Griffon on it, which I'm assuming is a Griffin Kato reference from Rave Master? I mean, it's blue like Griffin was. God, it's been a long time since I've seen Rave Master. I always need to read the manga, too. But anyway, have the whole color cover going on. Chapter 11, Machina Maker, Light Up Your Heart. The first volume will be released this coming up Friday, the 14th. So if you're in Japan, support the official release. And then we have a clean version of the same color cover. Then moving on to the chapter itself, we get like a wider view of the conflict going on as like the Aqua Wing is like pushing into the sky, but like the clouds are deflecting it looks like, and we see the police ships still much lower with the like earth pillars, and they're pushing against it. And Weisz continues to talk to the group. You can either get arrested by the police, or hand the ship over and we escape into space. What? This isn't a joke. If you don't do anything, you'll also end up the same way. I'll be fine somehow, even if I get arrested. Plus, I have an ID. Ugh. And Rebecca's like, fuck you. The police are closing in. They'll catch up to us! What are you gonna do? And Rebecca just stares at him. And Shiki speaks up. Fine, you can have the ship. It's not your ship! So stubborn. Negotiations are complete. We need a better ship to be able to visit Mother anyway, don't we? Ugh. And Weisz notices the use of Mother. Okay, so Weisz is getting more intrigued by that. Anyway, take us to Blue Garden anyway. Take us to Blue Garden, okay? I don't know about that. Hey, what can this guy do in this situation anyway? Well, watch closely. And he pushes Weisz out of the way. And not Weisz, he pushes Rebecca out of the pilot seat. And his arm lights up. Is that ether gear? From now on, I'm the ship's captain. Ether gear? Yeah, it is ether gear. Professor, you were able to use ether gear? You never said anything about that. OS upgrade. Custom ether furnace. Augment propulsive power to 70%, then upgrade the OS. The Aqua Wing beeps. What's that sound? Professor, what are you doing to this ship? Amplify the main processor's memory. Stabilize the frame. And we see more like machines like whirring around them. And the outside of the Aqua Wing, like the plating is like coming off, I think. And like we're seeing more of the gear beneath it maybe. I'm not entirely sure. Ether compatibility check. All systems green. Good girl. I can't believe it. This ship, he's remodeling it in real time. Yeah, that's what's going on. As like the police ships get closer to the Aqua Wing, and it's complete. Done. Ether jet online. And he blasts past the cloud barrier, shooting off into space. And Shiki, Rebecca, Happy, and Pino are also like flying to the back of the cabin. There's still some difficulty maintaining the ship's level, huh? But with this, it should be better now. Amazing! You really are a professor. And honestly, I just kind of noticed maybe it's because Weisz took off his coat for the first time, but he looks so much smaller in that pilot's chair, like slimmer. I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of a weird observation. What was all that just now? It's ether gear designed to remodel machines. Machina maker. Wait a sec. Was that how you fixed me? If it was me 50 years in the future, then most likely, yeah. But wait a second, that shouldn't be possible because Happy was an organism back then, and then he was turned into a machine. Can the machina maker change living people into robots? That seems incredibly powerful. That's amazing. I put that in as a service. I fixed your leg for you. Wow! Weisz is such a good guy. He'll never admit it, but he really is a good guy. Machina maker, give my ether gear a cool name too. Gravity, right? How about Thwomp Boy? Thwomp Boy. So cool. That's so lame. They blast off into the atmosphere. They're back in space. We got out. All right. We have broken through the mysterious energy field. And Shiki can only yell out, space! And then a beeping sounds from Rebecca's pocket. It finally connected. Rebecca, Happy, you guys all right? They're back in the future. Professor Weisz, yo. And Happy looks on in shock. And young Weisz, me? You guys never read the news, do you? Youngsters these days. Well, what are you saying? You guys went to Norma, right? That planet's been it was Norma, not Noma, I correct myself. That planet's been given a travel and entry ban. Travel and entry ban? Well, I'm glad you were able to make it back. I don't understand. What's happening? But I mean, why is the professor from the future? It's not the future. You're in the present. You made it back to the present. As long as you're on Norma, you'll be in the past. You know about the time slip? So the past is just surrounding Norma? Alright. I figured they slipped into the past sometime when they were traveling somehow. But okay. What you experienced out there was not a time slip. I put it as another timeline in space. Professor, please dumb it down a little. You guys didn't move through time. You went to a star whose time got stolen. Some monster ate Norma's time. 50 years worth of time, that is. And everyone looks down confused. I wonder, if this monster thing somehow fucked with Norma's timeline, does that mean that... Does Weisz know that his past self came up with Yakawing? Is that part of his history? Or is this a new, split timeline in Weisz's history? It's a monster in space that feasts on a planet's time. It's called the Time Eater. Well, that's conveniently named. And we see the Time Eater looks very... if you look closely, you can see what looks like a dragon in it. But it's mostly, covered in some kind of smoke-like thing. I'm not entirely sure what to make of it. A star that's been affected by the Time Eater will have their time rewinded. There's no way to undo this. It just becomes a reality where Norma's 50 years back in space. Do you mean that Norma will continue to be 50 years to the past no matter when we go there? Yup, that's why there's an entry ban. That means the original Norma doesn't exist anymore. Yup. Then where are you, Professor? Ha ha ha. A bunch of people fled from Norma, myself included. And there's the bunny maid. Okay. I'm going on the adventure I've always dreamt of doing. The girl in the bar with the rabbit ears. Weisz sees Shiki for the first time. Which definitely means that is not... That the Weisz that we know is not the same as the Weisz they're talking to. Because if they had, then, he would know about Shiki. So we need even more ways to describe these two because they're not the same person. I'm gonna go with Alpha Weisz for the old Weisz and Beta Weisz for the young Weisz. There's my parlance, Alpha and Beta, just because Alpha is the original timeline and Beta is now the new altered one. Master, and Pino recognizes Alpha Weisz as her master. You must be the broken android from before. Are you the master that made me? Your memory must have been wiped. I've only done a little repair on you. I somewhat remember someone saying that your master was the Demon King. Whoa. Hold up. Huh? You mean Shiki's Demon King? No, wait. Huh? The Demon King? Grandpa? And she like recognizes the Demon King as his grandpa. I've got another thing that's bothering me. And he somehow pops out of the screen. I'm not sure if that's just kind of like a visual effect or if it's like actually canon. That hunk over there is me, isn't it? And he sees Beta Weisz. The stars whose time was eaten by the time meter create a new reality. Therefore, there's no need to worry about a time paradox. The past doesn't affect the future? Exactly. Haha, ain't that interesting. The Norma you've been to wasn't the past, but a present that had its time stolen. Whatever you do in Norma, whatever the young me does from now on, will not affect me in the slightest. Weisz-chan's charms really show when he's older, speaks up the bunny lady. I'm Weisz from the year X492 who escaped the time meter. You're Weisz from the year X442 whose time got eaten. Both histories are correct. The time meter causes confusion in space by creating two histories like this. It's the big disaster. You've got no guarantee you'll be able to live this long, young Weisz. You are your own person. You need path, trust. The signal that cuts out. Professor! Signal interference. What's going on now? And Shiki notices something. Oh, that's gonna be Elcy. What's that huge ship? Yeah, we kind of forgot about Elcy with the whole Weisz and Sabir drama. But here she is back again. Space pirates! Kya! This is getting me all hyped up. Shiki's like eyes shining. This isn't something to be excited about. And something is ejected from the space pirate ship towards the group. Oh no. They're caught in the tractor beam. We're being pulled in by a huge spaceship. Damn, the controls aren't working. And Shiki notices someone in like the window. I found you, Shiki. What fate lies ahead for Shiki the Adventurer? The door to the answer opens. To be continued in Chapter 12, Skull Fairy. Okay. Alright. So, this was a chapter that got a lot of the world building and I guess the character building for the two Weiszes out of the way. As we now know that Beta Weisz is able to exist independently from the Alpha Weisz. And that's cool. Okay. Like, I kind of figured that, we'd see the Beta Weisz for a little while, and then he'd, go back to live his life in 442, and then we'd be introduced to him again as an old man on 492. But no, thanks to this time meter thing, which I imagine is going to come up at some point later on in the story, not like a full-on series-ending threat. It doesn't quite seem, that important to the plot, I guess, to really be, the acnologia of the series. But I can definitely see him being like, mid-series boss fight kind of deal. I don't know. As like, not like there's some quest to defeat the time meter, but like they randomly run into the time meter and they have to like escape or find a way to beat it. I don't know. I definitely see the time meter coming back. That's too interesting of a concept to not really come into play. But yeah, we now have an Alpha and a Beta Weisz, both of whom are able to interact with the world in their own ways, and both of them are very different people. I imagine that whatever happened in the 50 years of life that made the Alpha Weisz into the kind professor he is when he meets Rebecca is not going to happen to Beta Weisz. He seems like a much more rugged person, much more, down and dirty. Remember, he almost killed Sabir last week and would have if it weren't for Piano's EMP. He's a much darker person than the Alpha Weisz. But apart from that, we finally run into Elcy after that plot being dropped for the past several weeks, due to, the whole stuff with Noma and Sabir. But yeah, Elcy is here. More on what she's interested in with Shiki, just because, like, especially now that the Demon King has been tied up into Pino's past, and I'm presuming the Demon King is going to be how Elcy knows about Shiki. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to play in with their established backstories, are what backstory the Demon King has and what backstory Elcy does not have whatsoever. But like maybe was Elcy on Granbell at some point? Was there's so much we don't like? I think even though the Demon King is, I've been assuming the whole time that the Demon King was a robot, like the robots on Granbell. He so wasn't. Oh shit, he was not some Granbell robot. No. He was something else. I don't know what yet, because we're so early on in the series that I have no idea. He was not a robot. I want that on the record. The Demon King was not a Granbell robot. Okay. Yeah. The Demon King is not dead. I'm predicting that too. There's something going on with him. He's still around out there somewhere. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna leave this video off here, because I don't really have anything else to say about the chapter itself. Besides, I just got this sudden new theory about the Demon King. I'm gonna be working on that for a while. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this chapter as much as I did, and the video. If you did, feel free to drop me a like, or subscribe, or fill out that straw poll, link in the description down below, or, do whatever the fuck you want. I don't really care. And as always, people, keep kicking ass, and I'll see you in the future. Bye!